Hello guys, today in this video, we are going to help you to find out the best bike locks in market. I made this list based on my personal opinion and I tried to list them based on their quality, durability, customer review and more. If you want to see their price and find out more information about them, you can check our links in the description below. Number 13. Hip Lock Spin. If you want to double down on ease of use in low security situations, it's hard to beat the hip lock spin. Lots of people wear chain locks around their waist, but most brands only stay secure when locked. Wearing a locked chain around your waist is dangerous and hip lock recognizes that, so the trick of hip lock chains is that they have systems to wear them when they aren't locked. A thicker chain is always going to be more secure than a smaller chain, and the spin is even thinner than the keeper with only 6 mm thick links. If you are not worried about a bit less security though, a lightweight wearable combo lock is about as easy to use as it comes while still offering some protection. Number 12. Kryptonite Keeper 785. The biggest advantage of chain locks, compared to U-locks, is ease of use. You'll never have to fight to get the lock position just right so that it goes through the frame, the wheel, and around a sign or something that's thicker than a bike rack. The Kryptonite Keeper 785 is an inexpensive option that represents middle ground security. The sides of each link use a square profile that helps resist bolt cutters, but with a little work, they will still fall to bolt cutters. If you've got a bike that costs less than $500, make sure you follow all the rules for setting up the insurance, then wrap the chain around the seat tube and you'll always have something reasonable for short stops. Number 11. Altair Apex T. Every single lock on this page is function first. That makes sense because you need a lock that will keep your bike safe. That said, there's no reason that a lock can't also be beautiful. The Altair Apex T is a beautiful lock. It's also light and small enough to slip in a pocket. If you've got a stylish bike you'd rather not mar with an ugly lock, this is a product that will match. Also, you can't see it in pictures, but there is a coating on the metal to help protect the frame from scratching. The downside to choosing a gorgeous, titanium lock is price. If you like the style though, it might be worth it. Number 10. Kryptonite CryptoLock 610S. How much security do you really need? In many situations, as long as you've got a quality lock, then you will be safe. If that already sums up your thoughts, then shouldn't your folding lock be easy to carry? The Kryptonite 610S is a counter to the ABU's folding lock options. There are similarities, but with 5 mm bars instead of 5.5 mm, you save almost 600 grams. It's also longer and narrower, which, again, adds to the ease of carrying. Rotation where the bars connect to the lock means it has a ton more flexibility in how you use the lock as well. You do lose some security, but the advantages might be worth it depending on your needs. Number 9. ABU's Bordeaux 6500. A Smart X. The promise of a smart lock is never needing to think about keys or combinations. Naysayers will always point out that it's possible to hack the electronics, but that's akin to picking a lock. Possible but unlikely given how specialized a skill it is and how much easier other options are. The real challenge with smart locks is that they add price and complexity, so if you are going to introduce smarts to a lock, it should solve a problem. The ABU's Bordeaux 6500. A Smart X takes the standard ABU's Bordeaux lock, already one of the best folding bike locks on the market, and adds an alarm. You gain the ease of use that comes along with not dealing with keys or combos, but you also gain extra security. That kind of problem solving is exactly what smart design brings to the table when implemented in a considered way. Number 8. Hiplock Gold Chain Lock. If you love the idea of a wearable lock but you want the serious security of a 10 mm chain, then the Hiplock Gold is your answer. Just like the spin, you can wear the gold without locking it to your body. There's a bar on the lock side and a plastic buckle that snaps into the bar on the other side. When you are ready to lock a bike, take it off your waist, open the lock, and connect the lock to the chain that's on the other side of the waist bracket. The super bright version pictured here also adds visibility while riding. The only downside is all that security does mean you've got to deal with a bit of weight. Number 7. ABU's Ivera 7210. When we talked to cyclists who'd had bikes stolen while locked, there was one story that stood out. A brand new bike stolen off a rack while filling up gas on the way home. The integrated cable lock on the rack got clipped while the owner was inside buying a snack, so we set out to solve the challenge of locking a bike on a rack in a more secure way. What we came up with was a need for a chain lock that won't scratch a frame and has a bit more length to loop around a rack and a frame. The Abu Zivra is 110 centimeters in length, and while you still should never keep a lock on a bike while driving, the exterior will keep you from scratching a bike when locking it. It's a well-designed lock that would work in a variety of situations, but if you are looking to lock your bike to the rack when stopping, this is a great option. Number 6. Hiplock Z-Lock Combo. The Hiplock Z-Lock Combo is the answer for lightweight theft protection for when you're leaving your bike out of arm's reach but within eyesight. Not everyone needs the highest security in every situation, and if you only need to keep opportunists from walking away with your bike while it leans against a wall when you're sitting at a cafe or nipping behind a hedge for a quick toilet stop, then this is all you need. Any attack with a tool would easily cut through the steel band, just like a cable lock, but you can carry this in a jersey pocket and it's there when you need it. In the world of lightweight bike locks, this is one of the lightest out there. It's there for mid-ride coffee stops and sleepy destinations far from the city. Number 5. Hiplock EDX. The Hiplock EDX takes a couple of pieces and combines them. There's a massive chain, and there's also the Hiplock DX wearable U-lock. Hiplock itself see this as an option catering to e-bikes or cargo bikes, and they do make a good point. It's too big and heavy for riders to carry both pieces on a lightweight pedal bike. That changes in situations where you have the support of the bike in carrying weight. Even if you aren't planning to carry it into the world, it's worth a look though. Your bike is vulnerable at home, and in that situation, the chain and U-lock together make for an impressive level of security. When it's time to head out, leave the chain at home and bring the U-lock, and you've still got impressive security. Multiple pieces at a good price mean you get tons of options for how you lock a bike in different situations. Number 4. Kryptonite New York Forget-About-It Mini. The New York Forget-About-It Mini has been, for years, the standard in high-security U-lock options. It manages to be as secure as it is with no special tricks other than a big 18mm hardened steel shackle. Unlike the D1000, cutting it with an angle grinder will only take a minute or two per cut. What makes it worth considering is that it costs less than half the price and still brings a considerable amount of security. Much of the time you only have to secure your bike better than anyone else. The New York Forget-About-It Mini is probably more than enough security in most situations, and you could even double them up when called for. Number 3. Hiplock D1000. A thief can defeat just about every lock on the market with a portable angle grinder. It will make a lot of noise, but that might not mean much even in a crowded area. If you want absolute peace of mind for an expensive e-bike, then a lock that can resist an angle grinder attack is what you need. There are other options on the market that are even harder to cut with an angle grinder, but what sets the D1000 apart is that it remains portable. It's heavier than most U-locks, and it does not come with a frame mount, but it's not that big and works well in a bag or strapped to a rack. The only downside is that the internal space is small enough that you'll struggle to get both a frame and a wheel locked up. Number 2. Autolock Sidekick. This lock makes the list because it's small and inexpensive but still has the protection of a double locking shackle. Inexpensive U-locks often move to a bent foot design that only requires a single cut to break free of the bike. This option from Autolock still requires 2 cuts to open, and while the 12mm shackle is less robust than other designs, cutting through it twice will make noise. It does lack an included frame mount, and it's too small to lock more than the frame, but if you need to keep costs low, it will adequately protect your bike. Number 1. OnGuard 8003 Pitbull STD U-Lock. This isn't the most secure on this list. It's also not the least expensive or the most. The OnGuard Pitbull is the all-around kind of lock you can feel good using day in, day out. A 14mm hardened steel shackle is thick enough that bolt cutters are going to be ineffective, and it locks on both sides, requiring 2 cuts to break it free. It will fall to an angle grinder, but not without making a lot of noise first. The generous 5 keys included mean you can be less stressed with a lost key, and the light on one key is a nice touch at this price level. The suggested version here is the standard version, and there's enough room inside for the frame and a wheel. There are other versions of the same lock with different sizes, but this makes for a secure and easy to use everyday lock.